Yo, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cultural Notoriety Live, where we talk business with a purpose. As you already know, my name is Terrence Feagin, CEO and co-founder of Cultural Notoriety, and this is your boy.
Rasta White, what's up, y'all?
Hey, man.
We
So
here,
again,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You got it, dog.
Oh, yeah, the floor is mine. So I was just gonna say, Rasta White, co-founder, Coach of Notoriety. It's my brother Terrence right here, and we here really to talk about pretty much what makes us all human. That one word, fear, right? We want to talk about tactics and ways that we overcome it, because it's a day-to-day thing. You can't get rid of fear. We all human, like I said, unless you a robot or something. You gonna feel fear, and it's a lot of ways to get over it, and that's what we want to talk about in here.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose, man. And as you already know, man, fear is something that holds a lot of people back, and I think it needs to be talked about a lot. And that's why, I kind of just brought the idea to you, like, dog. Fear, honestly, man, I was just talking to my mom the other day. My mom was in the hospital. She just got out, thank God.
Mhm.
She had learned that her kidneys was actually failing. And not to start off on on a bad note or whatnot, but I'm just realizing what fear is that, she went through all of these dramatic issues and she's doing well now, but she just came to a realization that she allowed for fear to really hold her back to not really live a life that she want, bro. So, it's a topic that we got to talk about for sure.
Uh,
You got to talk
that's what she
about fear.
said.
Yeah, because I really just brought it up
Wow.
to her. I brought it up to her. I was like, "Yo, mom, like, you know, where are you at in your life right now? Like, what more do you want? How much further do you want to go?" And I was just telling her, like, you allow for fear to hold you back from really living the dreams that you want. But she not the only one. There's millions of people that's lived like that. But that's why I was really weighing on myself today. Like, yo, we got to talk about fear today, bro. But yo, you really put me on a book which was called Fearless, simply, right? And for me, one thing, I haven't read the whole book yet, and I know I'm kind of slipping on that. But I know that's one of your favorite books, right?
Fearless. There's two of them. If you watching this and you interested, get the one by Jonathan Alpert. Jonathan Alpert. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's one of my. It's probably my most impactful book I read. That next to Rich Dad Poor Dad, but Be Fearless, man. It breaks down literally. Yep, there it go right there. Like, bro, that book alone, I think that's a must read for anybody. Like, not just entrepreneurs. If you a doctor, if you want to go to school to be a teacher, that's a book you should check out. Yeah.
Oh man. So what's like one of the main lessons you wrote in this book? First off, bro, you've been seeing like a lot of the different memes of people seeing LeBron where he'll like have a book and they say he'd be on the first few pages. And they said they ask the questions he don't really know it. He try to make it up. That's definitely not your case, bro. So what have you learned from reading anything in that book? Like what's something you could pull out of there?
Bro, and first of all, sorry to hear that about your mom, you feel me? Because you ain't,
Yeah,
we ain't talk about that prior to this. So, but
yeah,
I'm
you
glad
got
you're willing to
it.
share that because that's real. I love that transparency.
Yeah.
But as far as fearless, man, the number one thing I would say is what I learned in that book was everybody deals with fear. You
Mm.
know, when you growing up as a kid, right, you see that guy in class who's the cool guy, or you see the popular kids, and you look at them like, damn, because I wasn't necessarily popular. I was more in the middle. You probably was popular. You feel me? But
No,
you
I
look at them
wasn't.
and be like,
I was lame as hell. Lame as hell.
ain't shit wrong with it. Ain't shit
Yeah.
wrong with it. But yeah, like I was looking at them kids that do things that I didn't have the confidence to do in myself.
Mm,
And I'd be like, man, he don't care. Like he just fearless. He just do
mm,
things. I'm like myself. I got to keep dealing with this hesitations and all of this stuff. So that was pretty much like the highlight of it. It's like in the beginning of the book, it started talking about that. That it's not being fearless is not about the absence of fear. It's about knowing how to control fear and not let it stop you. You feel me? So
mm.
that's the
That's
main
amazing.
thing, bro. We all deal with it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, like growing up, as I said, I wasn't the coolest, but one thing I always knew is that I wasn't afraid to go off on my own and be different. Like a lot of people in high school, they get in cliques or I mean, even now, as adults, people get in certain cliques, but they're afraid to really branch out and do other things. And that wasn't me. Like I was taught to be a leader. I wasn't taught to be like everybody else. Now, I mean, when it comes to being fearless, one thing that I realized is that it was a lot of different milestones that I was able to cross. And it was because I was able to get over fear. Like being in Mansfield, Ohio, growing up in Mansfield, Ohio, real small towns. And I ain't really know much, but then going to Central State my first couple of years and right out of high school, and then making the decision to leave Ohio and go to Eastern Michigan for college and finish up. Like there was few people in my family like, yo, slow down. Like, what are you doing? Like you moving a little fast. I was like, let's punch the gas. Let's get up out of here. But just if I will allow for other people to hold me back from the decisions that I made throughout life based on their fears, I would never really see my full potential. Right. So that was a big reason for me. I
I
was
was
like,
18 at that time.
yeah, I was 18, man. I was, well, no, I was in a few years into college. So I was probably about 20, but that's still young. That's super young compared to what's going on now, you know? So, but yeah, when it comes to fear, man, that was just one thing. I was like, you got to get over fear in order to get to where you really want to get to in life, you know?
Bro, like I dealt with a similar situation when I went to the Navy, 18, fresh out of high school, literally, bro. And that's right when Obama was getting out of office.
Dang.
So, yeah, I had family members calling me like, bro, you sure you want to go? We don't know who's going to be in the office. We don't know what can happen. A war could break out, blah, blah, blah. Bro, don't go. You're going to leave your family and all this stuff. On the flip side, though, I did have supporters. You feel me? Like, I
Yeah.
had a girl at the time, my mom. Those the people in my life that was like, no, you should do it.
Right.
But I still had a lot of fear to overcome to make that step. I
Right.
was, yeah, the fear was there. I'm like, yo, like, do I really want to do this? I had second thoughts and all of that. But in the end, I don't know what sparked in my 18-year-old mind, but I ended up taking that step, bro, and it got me here.
It's amazing. Like the fact that you did step, it made you stronger. That's the thing that people don't realize. When you do face adversity, a fear of the unknown, it's only making you stronger. Now, if you do make that step and it was the wrong decision, that was nothing more than a learning lesson for you. Like Einstein or Edison tried what 10,000 times to make one light bulb. What ain't that right? It was a 10,000 times or one
And
thousand times,
failures.
bro.
Yep.
Like people are
10,000.
not like people will quit 5 times. Like they'll try 5 times and they'll quit. Oh, I didn't do this right. Oh, so it just can't be done. No, this man literally illuminated the entire world, but he failed 10 times. So the biggest thing that I get out of that is how many times are you willing to fail in order to make the biggest impact in the world? That's what people you have to realize. Like the
Oh,
more you fail, but the more you continue to push forward, the bigger your outcome could potentially be. But they don't look at it like that. And it's crazy to me. But all in all, I mean, one thing that I realize again is that, bro, just fail and fail. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if you failed though? The only person that should really matter or like have an issue with is you. You should say, man, I failed. Okay, cool. But what did I learn from that failing situation? Okay, cool. I learned that I wasn't afraid or stead back on the fear that I have to be able to move forward to be able to get this done. Okay, cool. So now what else can I step out on and use fear as an actual leveraging system for me to go forward? That's all it really simply is. Wouldn't you agree?
like, really, we kind of born fearless, truth be told. As a
Mm,
kid, it's in our biology, or is that the right word? To
yeah.
have fear. But as a kid, that's when you at your most fearless. You don't care. You literally, we all learn how to ride a bike. We all been through
Right.
that process. Don't nobody give a damn how many times you fail when they see you that you know how to ride that bike.
Right. For
They're not
real.
gonna ask you like, I see you riding this bike, man. How many times did you fall off? And you wouldn't even remember. Like, bro, I don't know, but I kept falling, so I learned how to ride it.
Man,
You feel
knowing
me?
you
And
fell off that bike a million
it's really
times,
like that
kept
simple.
going. It is. It really is that
Yeah,
simple.
and all it do is, Right, and fear what, people laugh at you when you fall, but it's just a laugh. A person might laugh at you, but people don't really give a damn as much as we think. We think people care a lot more than they do.
For real, bro.
People don't
And,
care.
and really what it is that if people are making fun of you or they criticizing you, some of them really had genuine like hope and faith that you make things happen. And other people who may criticize you, they're only criticizing you because they haven't started it. They're afraid to do it because they're afraid of what other people are going to say about them. Again, it's that fear factor. It's a terrier barrier that people really lack. And I kind of want to get into that a little bit more because once I fully understood this, I kind of, understood what I would say reaching certain goals is because, all right, so Bob Proctor always talks, Bob Proctor, I told you about him. I think you watched a few videos on, right? You're somebody I
Yeah,
really
dope
like.
guy.
Yeah, for sure. RP Bob Proctor, late Bob Proctor. But what he talks about is that people are literally, if you think about it, like you're in a box in a situation in your life, right? Like imagine like you're home, but if you want to move forward outside of that box, you're going to hit a wall, right? That wall is a fear barrier. Once you break out of that, you're no longer in a comfort zone. But some people, they get to that wall and they start to get like shaky and nervous, and fear starts to really get into their mind. And that fear brings anxiety, depression, and all things that are not positive to make you move forward, right? If you're happy, you're going to move forward. You're not going to be in fear. But the fact is that once you break away from that terror barrier in that box, you start to realize that, okay, cool. I'm not comfortable, but it's making me better. That's what you have to realize. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Once you get out of your comfort zone, you'll start to be in situations that's going to grow you and strengthen you. Those situations that are going to grow and strengthen you are literally going to help you move forward towards the things that you want in life. Period.
Like you said, that barrier, it's all self created. Those barriers are self created. We put our own limitations and our own barriers in front of us, you feel me, to keep us from moving. I read one thing too, it was like what it said, 99% of the stress that happens in your brain is created off events that didn't even happen yet. And only 1% is from what actually happens in the future that we
That's crazy.
fear. So it's like we spend so much time, bro. Fear. That's what I learned, bro. Like I'm learning to not worry. Like truth is, you cannot control the future. So what you can do though is get your mind right, have faith, and walk in the future, knowing that you're going in the direction that you should be going in. You
Man,
know
walk in that future, man.
that
Walk in it. Walk in it. Really feel it. Like when you feel it and walk in
faithfully.
it, yeah, faithfully, man. Because once bro, it's like you have to literally, you have to become a different person. That different person is the person that's in the future. Once you become that person in the future that you want to be, you start to feel it and you start to think from it. That's when you start to realize, like, okay, cool. If I can get to that feeling and make that feeling happen all the time, that vibration, that thought pattern happen right here in the present, you start to attract yourself to that. Like, really, like, that's a clear sign letting you know, like, are you letting God know, like, yo, I'm worthy of that because I feel that and I think that and I know I have 100% faith in that's going to happen. So, but none of that can really transpire if you're thinking about fearful things that are going to happen, you know? So, man,
Because the fear
when
just pull you.
it does, it really does, man. And fear will people will take their dreams, aspirations, ideas to the grave, all because of fear. All because of fear, man. So, one thing that I know we wanted to talk about in this podcast is for veterans because me and Rasta, we're both veterans, and I know, bro. I remember when we were getting out, and there were so many like chiefs and other people who were questioning us, like, "Yeah, you'll be back." Oh yeah, I thought it was cool when I got out, but again, that was your fear stopping you from becoming what you wanted to be. Just because you wanted to spend your whole life in the Navy and do that job, that's perfectly fine. I have no issues with that. But don't project what you couldn't do on somebody else. Do you remember those conversations, man?
Bro, yeah, I had countless of them, bro. I was on my fifth year, and of course, we did a good job in the Navy. We was sailors that it ain't like we was just there and they was ready to kick us out. We took our
Right.
job serious, so
Yeah.
chiefs and stuff looked up to us and they like, we want y'all to come up type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, I had a lot of, you know, first classes and second classes telling me, man, you crazy. You about to get out.
Yeah.
And it was during the corona period. So that was even more, it made it even more scary. They like, bro, you about to get out with COVID at its highest right now, and you don't sound like you 100% prepared.
Dang.
And bro, it's just always was something in me though that just kept saying it's time to walk away.
Yeah.
It's time to walk away. Don't let fear stop you. Just walk away. You feel me? And bro, literally, everything I was worried about happening when I got out, none of that happened yet. And I've been out for almost 3 years.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Right? Like,
None of it happened.
man, what were some of the
I was
things that you
worried,
was
man. I ain't
fearful
gonna
of?
be Yeah, exactly. Man, I ain't gonna be able to pay my car note, man.
Mm.
If I can't find a job in time, I'm gonna run out of money. It's mainly financial, and then it was like I'm gonna get sick. But that did happen. Funny as it sounds, I did catch COVID, but guess what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And what that do? Take some of the fear away. It made
Right.
it less scary. I'm like, I caught it, and I ain't
Mm.
die. So, you know, so
Man.
yeah, bro.
Yo,
Like,
so let's talk about that a little bit, man. When you were on the boat, right? It was COVID, COVID had just started. What was like the life like when y'all on the boat? Because I know out here, like everybody was running to the grocery stores looking for tissue and toilet paper, so what was the life like on a boat?
and really, life was, I would say, great because we was in our own little bubble. We had a
Mm.
limited supply of everything, so we didn't have to worry about running out of nothing. We
Right.
still had our paycheck. We didn't have to worry about that.
Mm.
Only thing was, we pulled in the ports, but we couldn't go nowhere. So it was
That's
like
terrible.
literally we was out to sea for, bro. We had 2 beer days.
That's terrible.
You feel me? And a beer day is when you're on a ship. What is it, like 86 days straight or something like that? Like when you on the
Oh,
water for 80 days, no land.
I'm
So
so glad I wasn't on
yeah,
that.
we hit that a
I
few
got out
times.
just in time. I would have went crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Dog, man.
That was the tough part of it was no land.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. I think it's a good time to always talk about, some of our different experiences because again, if we talk about fear, there's a lot of veterans who are getting out. They have no way or they don't know what way they want to go into. And that's why we're here. Like you see us, we're veterans, we're doing what we need to do for our families. Yeah, we're growing families and we're still here. You know, we're not overly out here just wayward. I think that our lives are definitely in the direction that we want to go. And a lot of it is due to the fact that we educated ourselves and really education will push fear away. Educating yourself, learning skills, and doing the things you need to do daily, being committed will push away fearful things from happening or even the idea of it happening. And that's one thing that veterans got to realize. If you're a veteran right now, you're listening to this and you're getting ready to get out or you don't know which way you want to go, you're figuring out your transition, realize is that educating yourself is going to push back all those fearful issues that you might have right now.
Literally 100% right there because yeah, once you get closer to the end, start doing your research. Start looking up. People giving you all this advice and stuff. Listen to the advice, but do your own research, do your own homework. Like you said, that homework gives you that confidence, like, well, okay, I got this, I could use this benefit when I get out. Oh, I could use the GI Bill when I get out. Oh, I had this problem going on. I can get compensation for that. Oh, and those things start clicking, you start putting all those pieces together, and now you going out without really a care in the world. It's like a smooth transition. You feel me? So yeah, that's one thing definitely should do. Do that homework.
Do that homework. Homework is important. And don't just do something that your homie doing because he like it. Find something that you like to do. Don't do something that everybody else is doing. Like me and Rasta got out and we know what we wanted to do. We focused on it. We were head hunting on it and we did it. You can do the same thing, but just don't do something that, other people are doing. Oh, I want to go get my CDL license. Okay, is that something you really want to do? Or are you just doing it for a paycheck? Okay, cool. As soon as you start getting those paychecks or you're in the process of trying to get those paychecks, your ambition and your commitment might run out because that's not something you truly love. So really focus on the things that you love. What is it? Do you want to build a business? Okay, go find an education for it. Go join a class. And don't be afraid to spend your money. Don't be afraid to spend your money on education. There's a lot of people out here that are scamming people for different courses and all this information in order to they make people pay for their courses and then it's bullshit. Don't be afraid of that. Again, that's a learning lesson. Wouldn't you say, Roster?
Or bro, you can't lose investing in yourself, man. It's 100% return. You feel
Mm.
me? It's rare to make a bad investment in yourself. Like you said, it can be a course. People is scamming people in some of these courses, but then you got the ones that they giving out value. And it don't matter if they did shit or not, it's still value that you can take and you can use for yourself. You feel me? Books, seminars. Start spending that money, man. Like you say, you got to spend that money. You got to.
Spin it. Go ahead, spend that money because it's gonna come right back. Especially if you invest in yourself. Is there ever a time where you feel like you bought a book or something and it wasn't a good investment? Be honest.
So far, bro, I haven't read yet. So far, I'll say no. But I know they say, as you keep getting through books, keep getting through courses, you will come across stuff that you already know, or some stuff
Mm.
that's like, you I literally read books that's highly recommended by a lot of people that I follow. So far, so good. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. What's one of the guys you recommend? I already know you're gonna say Robert Kiyosaki off rip.
For sure, if you're a person who wants some financial literacy, Rich Dad Poor Dad is the way to go.
Mm.
Don't You can do research on the book. It gets a lot of speculation about the book. Just read it. It's value in there. It's lessons in there. Take it and make it yours. Another good one I would say, and I'm gonna go on the flip side. It's called "Stop Doing That Shit." Right?
Stop doing that shit. I
Shit
haven't heard of
by
that.
same guy who wrote the Unfuck Yourself book. His
Oh,
name
okay.
Gary. I forgot his last name, but this guy, he pretty much talk about, in a way, he talk about fear, like how fear can make you self sabotage yourself, and how fear can keep you keeping yourself chained and limited because you're not allowing your mind to be free. So
Mm.
that's definitely another one. Stop doing that shit. It'll help you with your marriage. It'll help you with your
Mm.
relationship. It definitely helped with mine. And I was reading that on my way out the Navy too. So it would definitely help me take that step. You feel me?
So stop doing that shit. Man, I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more. So basically, it was all about telling individuals like, hey, if this is something like a bad habit, just stop doing it. Essentially.
Yeah, and it was digging deeper. It was kind of like, our brains naturally creates problems.
Oh,
You never know when things is going good and everything peaceful with your relationship and stuff, that somebody pick a fight, or things like that's going on. It's pretty much helping you understand to learn to stop. Some stuff you just shouldn't be doing. Just stop doing it.
right.
Don't pick a fight with somebody you love for no reason. Think about it first. Like, should I really pick this fight? Or yeah, pretty like you said, bad habits too. That play a big part in there. Like, just stop doing that shit. But
That
it's
makes
real deep, bro.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what would you say to somebody who is like a Navy veteran? They getting out and they like, oh, I ain't got the money. I ain't got the time. I just don't know. What should I like? I don't even know where to start. I know I don't want to do this, but there's other stuff that I want to do. What would you say to those people?
Say, when you find yourself in that position in life, funny as it may be, I'm learning that might be the best time to walk away from something. Because that means your independent thinking ain't really there. Because you got something there doing all your thinking for you.
Mm,
So walking away would be probably your best bet. Now, of course, there's some cases where you might want to stay in a little longer. Get some
mm,
things together, orchestrate your plan. But a person, like you said, going through all of that stuff, man, just start fresh. Walk away. You can walk away. You can go home. If you ain't got no family, that's a different problem. But if you got
yeah,
family, just start fresh, bro. Go
yeah,
back home and then, you know what I mean?
yeah. That's real. Like, don't allow what the lack of what you have stop you from getting what you want more of. The lack of what you have right now is only right now. Unless you continue to think about what the lack you have now, that's going to carry you on in your future. What you think about right now is literally projecting your physical reality towards the future. That's what I learned. So the fact is that if you are not in the right situation that you want to be in, but you have a clear idea on what you want to be in the future. You think about that clear idea right now until you literally bring that to you. You're bringing it to yourself by constantly thinking about it. If you constantly thinking about, I don't have this, I can't start my business. I don't have the friendships, the people around me to support me to even start. Bro, when we started this, there was nobody that could really see the vision of what I had except me and you. Why? Is because we both had the forward thinking about what we want to do. So our vision alone, our mindset, our ideas have laid the foundation for what we have right now. And why we're constantly thinking about future tense right now, what are we doing? We're pulling it towards ourselves. But again, none of that can happen if you allow fear to stop what you want to happen. Simple.
That's crazy. You say your future pulling you. In that book as well, it talk about that. It talks about you can literally seek guidance from the future. We're naturally taught to seek guidance from the past. What we
Mm,
learn from the past, so we won't make those mistakes over again. But kind of like what you were saying again, a good question to ask yourself is like, what would the person that I want to be do right now?
mm,
You know, the person I see myself as, what would he do in this situation? Would he stay here or would he walk away?
mm.
Will he make this decision, take that step, or will he fold or just be like, you know what, not right now? So that's one thing, like you said, look at the future. The past is already written. There's nothing you can do about the past.
Mm.
We all got our stuff in the past and all of that stuff, but the more energy you put into the future, man, it's beautiful things that can happen when you focus there.
It's wild, man. A lot of people focus on the past right now. You feel like, I feel like they focus on so much of the past is that they love it and they don't like to let it go. Like think about the people who were cool in high school. Some people hang on to those glory days, and they 30 and 40 years old. But again, that's just them holding their past to where they could be in the future instead of thinking about more about what they could have in the future. Because people make mistakes in a present time, and they allow those mistakes that happen in the present stop them from being able to even think about what they want in the future. It's unfortunate event, but one thing I'll say again, like any military members out there, I really hope y'all listen to this. Or if there's anybody else that's watching this, go ahead and share this with some of the different veterans out there or the people who are thinking about making that transition out, or even the people that are still in. But really realize that your fear and your lack and your limitations are only going to carry you so far. Start to think bigger and start to come out of a sense of lack and start to come in a sense of abundance, even if it's not real right now, even if it's not there. But yo, be fearless, right? My boy got this tatted on him, huh?
Be fearless. It's in there.
Man,
It's
tatted,
in
dog.
there.
Oh, man. So what's going on nowadays in the life, man? In the life of Rasta, man.
For Rasta, it's like you say, it's a daily battle, man. I'm back in the gym again. I mentioned that
Yeah,
last time, but I've been consistent.
that's
I've
what's
been
up.
in there. I've been doing things. I've been focused on at least doing one thing to make me uncomfortable a day, whether it's an appointment, whether
Mm,
it's a sales call, whether it's and back from what we were saying, it's like trust that when you take a fearless step, we ain't saying you need to jump off the ledge. You feel me? We just saying those small little steps of courage. It could be something simple as it's a person you got an issue with and you go address them face to face.
mm.
Well, acts of courage, they do add up. Like you uncomfortable, you nervous, but the more you do it, the more you become numb to taking action and pushing through. You feel me? So that's really where my focus is, bro. My focus in life is to we think about the future, but also let go of control of it. Don't.
Mm.
I didn't know I was gonna be a real estate agent. I was interested in real estate. I didn't know I would be an agent. You feel me? Things are going to happen. What you want in life and your future, it might not happen exactly how you're planning it, but it's still different steps and different, universe, God, whatever you believe in, it's going to throw the opportunities at you. It might not be what you want, but fearlessly, you take them opportunities. You
Mm.
feel me? And you just
That boy spitting facts,
follow me,
man.
but
Yeah,
I
man, that
had to
was
use
amazing.
that cause yeah, I know what vets. Yeah, bro, we know what vets go through, man. We seen it. We're not vets, active duty right now that want to be a vet, so you can move on to your dream, man. And most vets is young. You in your 20s, we got plenty of time. I'm 25 now, and just over the last 3 years since I've been out, I've done so much stuff, and I'm still only 25. So I look at it like any mess you make when you get out, man, you in your 20s, you got plenty of time to clean it up. You
Yeah,
feel me? So
plenty of time. I think it's always time. There's been great inventors that don't invent their prize world changing phenomenon until they 67 years old. People just keep putting limitations on them. Just stop doing that. Stop limiting what you think you can do. Start thinking about pretty much everything that you can do, because anything, especially in today's time, bro. And right now, we living in a time where people thousands of years have wished they had the opportunity to be able to talk on a camera and project it across the world on a free platform, right? We living in the greatest time ever, and people are just sitting on their hands and they're not really taking advantage of it because, again, it's just a fear tactic, something that's just holding them back, bro. It's not really like, it's not really, they don't give themselves an option. They may say like, it's not an option. I can't do this because I don't have that. Well, all right, you limit yourself. That's just more for me to go after. It's just more for me to be able to attack because I want it all. I'm not saying I'm greedy. Of course, I'm not greedy, but what I want is for me. It's already been made for me. All the ideas that I have and has been given to me because it's already established for me. And everybody has a piece out there. They just got to go and get it. You agree, right?
it's an abundant world. The more you shift your mindset to abundance, knowing that what you want is out there, there's no like it's food for everybody.
Facts.
Whatever you want, man, you literally just go towards it. And it's crazy how just thinking about it, literally thinking about it, sitting on your couch thinking about it, an opportunity might just knock at your door just because you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, bro. Like
So, yeah, it's a wild
we
world
got
out
one
there.
life too, so it's like we
Yeah.
got one life, bro.
Go and get it. One life. One life. Do not play with it. Do not play with it because it could be gone in an instant. Girlie, I mean, you see, we got brothers, friends, families, people who gone, who should be here. But again, the options and the decisions that they did with their life is, led them to that course. But all in all, man, it's a beautiful world, and it's plenty of abundance out there to be able to have. But Rasta, man, anything you want to say to kind of like close out this episode? Or we could keep going. It's up to you, man. But I know we got families. I know it's late out there on the East Coast right now. They're out there in the D.
Just to keep it simple, any vets watching, I keep saying vets, anybody who's considering getting out watching this to follow their dream, man, like I said, bro, we're not saying go crazy. It's about build. You gotta build the muscle. It's a fearless muscle. They talk about that in the book. You gotta build it.
Yeah.
One small act of courage at a time. Keep stacking on top of that, man. And it's that one big word that I think we all fear the most, and it's called regret. Like,
Dang.
that's the one word I don't want ever. I don't want to be 50 and regret anything. So just think about that and start taking baby steps. And it'd be good.
Yeah. Don't regret nothing. Because if you start to regret, you're gonna really wish that you just would have did what you had to do. So start working on what you want to work on now. But again, as you know, this channel is really all about digital marketing and helping real estate agents to be able to scale their businesses using a system. But of course, we do go off on tangents. We like to talk about actual topics that are meaningful to not just us, not to just real estate agents, but to also all people of all generations and all different backgrounds and ethnicities. But, today we wanted to talk about fear. Us being Veterans Day being a few days ago, that was on our hearts. But again, use the information in this actual video to propel yourself forward. Again, veterans, also, if you want an opportunity to be able to have a business online, we have what is called the Freedom Fighters Financial Formula. I had to throw that in, Rasta. So check the links down in the description. You'll learn more about digital marketing. You'll learn more about network marketing and a lot of different topics that you can use to be able to scale. But as Rasta always say, keep adding value, keep adding value. That's it.
Tell you, move.
Let's go. Later.